Over the last year, we've seen challenges and changes in our industry. As always, the Institute of Scrap Recycling Industries was focused on the needs of our membership, promoting safe, economically sustainable, and environmentally responsible recycling through networking, advocacy, and education. When China changed its scrap trade policy, ISRI took action and quickly emerged as the lead source for information, analysis, and advocacy. ISRI officials met and continue to meet with representatives of the Chinese government, both in their homeland and at their Washington embassy. ISRI has become the preeminent source of information for U.S. government officials, other industry groups, recycling associations, and major media outlets around the world. Our primary goal: to give our members the timely information needed to take immediate advantage of business opportunities and adapt to changing conditions. At the same time, we are also helping to open other markets to members at home and abroad. Our advocacy agenda addressed legislation affecting our members' bottom line, including compliance, taxation, and revenue streams. ISRI's ability to access and educate policymakers is vital to helping our members succeed in an ever-changing marketplace. In our industry, no subject is more important than safety. ISRI rebranded its safety department to better reflect member needs. We became an official partner with the National Safety Council's Road to Zero program and expanded our National Safety Council affinity programs. We partnered with the Department of Transportation in the Our Roads, Our Safety program and worked with other trade groups to address safety issues with lithium batteries and other materials encountered in our operations. ISRI also provided regulatory and compliance resources on issues such as stormwater, OSHA, and more. Networking ranks as a top reason for ISRI membership. This year, we held the first meeting of the Century Club for those with a combined age and industry experience of 100 years or more. We relaunched the Council for Women in Recycling and reinvigorated our Young Executives program and looked for ways to increase networking opportunities at ISRI events at all levels. ISRI also expanded its education and training offerings, including a sold-out yard management program held in ISRI's own offices. We showed our leadership on residential recycling issues, co-hosting the first-ever MRF Summit. ISRI's communications team is helping us have a direct effect on public perception and policy, and we're reaching a far wider audience than ever before. Within ISRI, local and state activities are just as vibrant and vital to our membership, and activity at the chapter level remains robust. ISRI chapters are on the forefront of ISRI's advocacy efforts and are the lifeblood of our network. Their work generates more opportunities to grow our business. ISRI delivers the results our members deserve at home, across the country, and around the world. As we look to the future, we see that we are one voice, one vision, one ISRI. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chair of the Institute of Scrap Recycling Industries, Brian Shine.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here today. What an exciting, exhilarating way to start the day. I want to thank all of you who joined us this morning for the ISRI's first ever fun run led by the Skid Row Runners Group. The energy was amazing, and the attention this event brought to such an incredible cause was tremendous. I feel equally energized having just completed my first year as ISRI Chair. I've absolutely loved the experience so far and treasured it very much. When you have the opportunity to lead ISRI, you understand the significance and challenge that comes with the slogan, the voice of the recycling industry. Our industry is broad and deep. We have members across 6 commodity segments, sourcing materials from many different sectors of our economy, from industrial, commercial, retail, public, and residential, and doing business in every region of the world. Our diversity is what makes us strong, but it also increasingly requires our active involvement and collaboration with others outside of ISRI. There is no more evident than here in this convention this week. I'm excited to share that we have many colleagues from many associations and nonprofit groups, domestic and international, with us here in LA, each of whom are dedicated to the continued success of the global recycling industry and a vibrant recycling industry. Several of them are here with us this morning, and I ask you to stand for just a moment. We extend a warm welcome to each of you, and please accept my appreciation for the opportunities to work with you, to learn from you, and to collaborate as we all strategically plan for a better industry tomorrow. Please help me welcome all of these distinguished guests. I wish that each of you could share in one of my favorite experiences as ISRI Chair, and that is the opportunity to get to know so many of our members that I have as I've traveled around the country to attend chapter meetings and other events. Each chapter is unique in its own way, but they all have a common and shared purpose in being part of a strong association, helping members to grow and prosper, and demonstrate pride in both ISRI and our industry. And that brings me to an important initiative of ISRI's that I want to make sure everyone is aware of. ISRI's Strategic Planning Initiative was commenced by former Chair Doug Kramer and brought to conclusion earlier this year by my predecessor, Mark Luan. The effort yielded tremendous positive results and created a guide for ISRI activities well into the future. Early on in its work, the Planning Committee hit on a theme which is near and dear to me, and that is One ISRI. It doesn't matter what commodity or commodities a member is processing, what size they are, or where they are located. We are all one ISRI. Similarly, it doesn't matter if an effort is being done at the chapter level or national. It is all ISRI. As I was growing up in the business and began to get involved in my local chapter, I often witnessed a mentality of us versus them, meaning chapter versus national. I did not understand how that could be, as both chapters and national are made up of ISRI members, all working on a common goal, which is to ensure industry survival and growth in the face of numerous obstacles. It didn't make sense to me. As I began to get involved at the national level, I found that there really was no us versus them, but that we are all truly one ISRI. ISRI has always been an organization where committed, caring, and passionate members stood up to make their views known in terms of how to best advocate for and advance our industry. This process is extremely democratic and respectful, and in the end, always focused on what is in the best interest of the entire industry. This makes me very proud to be involved. The concept of One ISRI has been affirmed in many ways, including the Strategic Planning Committee's unanimous agreement, albeit after careful thought and deliberation, that our association is meant to bring us all together with one unified voice, and as expressed in our recently revised mission statement, which reads, ISRI is the voice of the recycling industry, promoting safe, economically sustainable, and environmentally responsible recycling through advocacy and networking and education. The ISRI Board of Directors adopted this mission statement in November of 2016 at the recommendation of the Planning Committee. And I personally think it's an excellent expression of us, our values, and what we are trying to achieve as a united organization. Note that our very first commitment in this mission is to safety. Safety is our top priority, and it's a core value for all of ISRI. Our efforts through the years are proving to be effective, but our attention to safety cannot stop. I strongly encourage you to come hear Chair-elect Gary Champlin on Thursday as his remarks highlight all things safety. Brian Hennessy, your Vice Chair, will be presenting our safety awards, and keynote speaker John O'Leary will be presenting an incredible motivational speech. Our safety staff, led by Scott Wiggins, is delivering highly valued safety services on behalf of our members. So please reach out to ISRI to learn how you can continue improving safety at your operations. Another priority identified by the Planning Committee was communications. We recognize that the reality that our ability to effectively communicate, both internally and externally, required a fresh look and approach while still being respectful of what was working well. I applaud the efforts of Kyle Eastman, ISRI's current communications chairman, and all the other members who have led the effort working with our incredibly talented ISRI staff. We've eliminated some communications while introducing new streamlined e-newsletters, started to utilize video messaging, improved upon our app, which hopefully everybody is using today, strengthening our communications between ISRI National and chapters. ISRI's communication outreach both to internal and external stakeholders has never been higher or more effective. This process is ongoing, and all members have a role to play through your participation and, equally important, through your feedback. ISRI can only improve when we know what you like and what you don't, and better yet, please provide suggestions for us to consider, as we are always striving to do better. Another priority addressed by the Strategic Planning Committee was the need to transform ISRI from being almost exclusively a reactive organization to one that is forward-looking and working to become a thought leader. We will always need to be responsive and aggressive when addressing bad policies or threats to our industry. But our new Challenges and Opportunities Committee, composed of a small group of forward-thinking volunteers from our industry, is allowing us to become more strategic. This group is charged with regularly scanning the horizon in search of new opportunities and future trends or issues that will likely impact our members. This will enable ISRI to provide more real value in all that we do on behalf of everyone here. You will see this concept in action here this week in the form of several workshops discussing such issues as the use of blockchain in our industry, future materials usage in manufacturing, and how that will impact us, many of us, down the road. We'll be looking at ways to improve product quality to meet consumer demand, and we'll look at ways our industry can better attract a workforce today and tomorrow. I'm positive this will continue to grow in importance and content for all conventions to come. The next and final priority, which is truly key to the concept of One ISRI, is how we strengthen the link between our members and the many parts of ISRI for the benefit of all. The scrap recycling industry has changed dramatically over the last 30 years in terms of demographics, structure, and size of companies resulting from consolidations, commodities processed, and an ever-increasing onslaught of state legislative and regulatory threats. At the same time, the structure ISRI established in 1987 for the delivery of services to the members we had then has not changed. But ISRI has changed, and so has our industry. We face challenges providing the needed support to chapters, efficiently delivering services to members, responding to requests, and providing legislative and regulatory support consistently across the country. After a tremendous amount of discussion and analysis of these challenges and others, a plan emerged from the Planning Committee on how to build a better ISRI to be ready for a future that is changing with rapid speed. This concept calls for a regional model for ISRI on the local level, combined with stronger division structure at the national level. We see this as an opportunity to strengthen connections between ISRI's activities on the national and local level, which will enable us to deliver more effectively programs of services to our members, provide better support to chapter leaders, and help to provide more consistent advocacy and assistance to members, regardless of where they are located or the commodity they process. One of the keys to making this work is to better integrate representation and participation of members from all commodity sectors within each and every geographic chapter of ISRI, while at the same time empowering ISRI's divisions to work more effectively on behalf of our members. Last fall, the ISRI board started this process by approving changes to our bylaws that now enables divisions to hold meetings away from standard ISRI functions, and also to raise money for special projects that impact their specific commodities. The next step is to have chapters begin to consider possible mergers in order to gain that critical mass and truly recognize the benefits of One ISRI. All involved appreciate and value the emotional attachment that exists within the current chapter structure. So for this reason, the movement towards a regional structure is voluntary, but best practices guidance and encouragement has been provided to all chapters so that we can start to move in this direction. And I'm excited to say several chapters are already seeing the benefit in doing so. In fact, at yesterday's board meeting, the ISRI's Northwest and Wisconsin chapters brought forward a request to come together and form a new combined chapter. And I'm proud to say that ISRI has a new Upper Midwest chapter that is stronger and more able to provide consistent leadership, networking, state advocacy on behalf of all of our members in that region. And I can't wait to visit. Interestingly, last year, ISRI conducted a member needs assessment and satisfaction survey, and the results reinforced for all of us that we are moving in the right direction. Among the two most important reasons ISRI members turn to ISRI are networking and advocacy. And it's those two elements that we are strengthening through these efforts with the chapters. Opportunity will be provided to better network through larger gatherings with members coming together to build new and broader business relationships, along with ISRI being able to better support with much more consistent state-by-state advocacy across all commodity sectors. We anticipate that many of these changes will occur organically and with encouragement and support from ISRI. It is my belief that as more and more chapters move to such a structure, the benefits to do so will be undeniable and compelling. The committee fully acknowledged and appreciated the fact that some chapters are functioning well under their current structure, and to that end, always envisioned that there would be an opportunity to continue with successful chapter events or meetings, etc. The next area I want to address this morning is trade. When I first came in as ISRI chair, one of the very early issues that ISRI was confronted with was the drastically changing scrap import policies being issued by the Chinese government. I approached this issue with the support of members and staff, agreeing with the efforts of the Chinese government to improve environmental protection standards and enforcement, but doing all we could to protect the import of specification-grade scrap materials, since we believe this will help with those efforts. When it quickly became apparent that China's goals were not limited to environmental protection and the import restrictions were not going to change, ISRI pivoted, and since then we've been working aggressively on both domestic and international market development efforts. While there's no doubt that the last 2 years have been hard for many of us, I believe that there are also exciting long-term opportunities for those that adapt and change, which from my personal experience is in most recyclers' DNA. We are a resilient industry. I believe that positive changes will occur through hard work, technological advances, much improved quality controls, and sheer determination. ISRI is playing a major role throughout the world to make sure that opportunities are available to all of us. I give credit to former chair Doug Kramer and his predecessors for growing our relationships worldwide with recycling trade associations in many other countries. Many of them are represented here this week at ISRI's convention. During this past year, I've had the opportunity to participate in many international recycling conferences. This has positioned me to witness the tremendous respect that other organizations have for Robin Wiener, ISRI's president, Adina Adler, ISRI's Assistant Vice President of International Affairs, and Joe Pickard, ISRI's Chief Economist, along with the rest of our staff, for their contributions to the global recycling industry. I believe the past and ongoing efforts are of tremendous importance for each and every ISRI member, whether you are an active export trader or have never sold a pound of recyclables outside of your state. With between 30 and 40% of what the U.S. recycling industry processes in a given year ending up in the global market, what happens in that market undeniably impacts each and every one of us, whether we personally trade in it or not. Free and fair trade is a cornerstone belief within ISRI, and it's one that we fight for at home and around the world. This mantra is critical to ensure that our markets are available to sell our recyclables. At the most recent Materials Recycling Association of India's 6th annual conference, which I attended in Kochi, we had some 40 ISRI members present. We held a meeting within meeting to learn of some of the challenges when selling into India and what ISRI can do to assist our potential consumers within India. The information was extremely valuable that was shared by the group and lays the groundwork for us to better support through ISRI's efforts. In 2007, ISRI led a 25-member trade mission to India. The relationships were built among the attendees have been tremendous, and the relationships built with the Indian government continue to pay dividends in terms of access and credibility. Back in 2007, we sold approximately $600 million worth of recyclables into India. And for the year just completed, we sold approximately $1.5 billion worth of materials. This tremendous growth is exciting, and it's important for the long-term health of our industry. I credit the Indian government for working on policies that will help ensure a long-term viability of a solidly built, vibrant, and highly functioning recycling industry within India. This fall, ISRI will be leading another trade mission, this time to Malaysia and Thailand. I hope you'll join us as we make new friends and explore new markets. Just another way ISRI works hard to open up trading partners throughout the world for our members. Speaking of members, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for being a member of ISRI. Members are the lifeblood of our association and from a number of perspectives. Clearly, your financial support is important as we advance the interests of our industry. Also critical is your involvement. Whether that be at the chapter region level or at national, ISRI has and always will be a member-led organization. If you're a current member, I thank you. If you are not, I strongly encourage you to become a member and share with all your energy and passion for this ever-changing industry. I look forward to serving as your chair for another year and working with you as we make our companies and our industry stronger through one voice, one ISRI. Thank you very much.